Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
But first, let's check the traffic. We have wrecks all over the metro right now, and no one area is better or worse than the other. It pretty much sucks all over. If you're traveling between the downtowns, it'll be 30 minutes or more each way on 94. Fighting your way into downtown Minneapolis on northbound 35W, plan for a 20-minute drive from the crosstown into downtown. And then from 94 up to 694, you'll see another 20, soon to be 30 minutes on northbound 35W. Over on the east side, northbound 35E, actually, it's tougher getting into downtown St. Paul. 494 to 94, 25 minutes, rising quickly. If you're on the outbound side, southbound 35E, it's 15, maybe 20 minutes down to 494. And then a quick look at 694. It's not good. Heavy and sometimes excruciatingly slow between Highway 36 in Oakdale and 494 in Maple Grove. Plan to add at least 30 minutes to an hour to your commute if you're leaving right now.
Was your getting here problematic?
No, it was actually fun. I'm city streets, so it was fun. But yeah, everybody's going really slow on the city streets because the snow is on top of a pretty thick layer of ice.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Traffic moving pretty well on 6 Mile Cypress.
That's fascinating, Patrick.
Yeah, okay. So.
He's already leaving.
You know, the absence of potholes down there is just wonderful.
Yes, it is.
It really
you don't
is.
have to spend a lot of money fixing the roads in the spring, right? And causing all kinds of traffic jams.
Right.
That's one good thing about it, that's for sure.
Quite an impressive Wolves victory over the Thunder last night.
Man alive. Not only are they winning lately, but they're winning in dynamic, dominant fashion here.
Over two pretty good teams back-to-back.
Yeah.
Oklahoma and
Oklahoma City and
Cleveland.
Of course. The Cleveland kind of no-showed. I think Oklahoma City had no-showed the night before down in their home arena, and they probably showed up thinking they better try to win that game. But, man alive, the boys are playing good.
And the Wild, after a tongue lashing by the coach,
oh, yes,
they came out and played well for 2 periods and hung on for the 2-1 road victory.
So I take it Doobie stood on his head to hold us in there in the first period, huh?
Very much so.
Okay, so because I was reading that the boys, we were not satisfied with our first period effort, and Sir Topham's head got a little red, huh? What's his name? What's the name of Topham, rookie?
Topham on
the kid Thomas the Train. What's his? What's the name?
Because I can't remember.
No, no Reavers there, huh?
Topham Hat. Sir Topham Hat. That's what it is.
He looks exactly like Sir Topham Hat. I bet when that head gets red, he really looks
that's
like,
right. So Tommy
he
the
looks
Train
like
guy.
Sir
What are you
Topham
talking
Hat.
about?
Thomas the Train, the kids show. This is the guy.
I managed to avoid that one.
This guy looks exactly like the guy.
These boots, man.
Yeah.
They
Separated at birth.
Whenever they drew him, some guy had seen a hockey game. Whoever then said, "Let's make him look like that hockey coach."
Now that
Boudreaux.
you're going down that road, and I like Boudreaux, I don't mean this as
I like him a lot.
I don't mean this as a criticism or not, but I am an expert on Peppa Pig.
Okay.
And there are a number of characters in Peppa Pig that you could say look like Coach Boudreaux. I'm not saying he's a pig-like. I'm not saying that at all.
Oh.
But you know what he is? He's kind of round.
Yeah,
He is.
I
He
can
got
see
the
that with
round
Peppa
head
Pig.
face.
Yeah.
Now Peppa Pig, I don't know about this one.
You're
This
lucky
is
you
new.
don't want to go down that road.
This is new for
No,
very young grandkids.
Yes, it's a British cartoon series, and God help me for ever having stumbled on it.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know what is interesting about youth? I mean, really young youth, like grandkids.
Tell me. Yeah.
They'll watch the same thing 150 times.
Well, this
Yes.
kid
Let's
now.
get a little variety in our lives.
Well, I can explain that to you. This kid now has the ability to just flick at the screen to get a different one. So now it's just a contest of wills to see if she can get to watch one of them without clicking to the next one. So it's a constant fight between Peppa Pig and Moana.
So let me get this straight. We got a TV that we just hit the screen.
No, these are on my iPad.
Like the tablets.
Oh, okay. You just hit that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's stuff going on out there that frightens me. That's
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
guys.
So I figured, okay, I can cure this by showing it on the full screen, and that gets rid of your other options. And that has proven to be terribly disappointing.
Well, because she knows more about it than you do.
Absolutely,
probably.
absolutely.
Right.
And so she's been deprived now of this ability to pick and choose among other offerings. And I said, well, that's too bad. You're not watching anything else. We're watching this one, or you're watching nothing. And that doesn't go very far.
Well, my granddaughter,
She's not.
No,
she's way beyond the
she's
Peppa
8.
Pig.
She's 8.
Yeah, I
she's
ain't the
8.
Peppa Pig age.
But she doesn't even ask for the cell phone anymore. When
Just
she
takes
sees
it,
me.
right?
She just puts her hand out.
Yeah.
Just
Thank you.
puts her hand out.
Appreciate that. Yep.
Like the CP used to do with your check. Just put the hand out.
Right there. Right there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Just deliver that thing. So
Well, anyway, back to sports.
back to sports.
Gopher basketballers might be in for a long haul.
They could. Coach Patino, I saw a photo. He looked a little down in the dumps. He looked, he was trying to figure out where to make his hotel reservation for the Final Four about a month ago. And now he might not even have to bother to go to the NIT with this collection. Wow.
Well, is there some way that Lynch will end up back on the team?
I can't believe that the university process, which is not, if it's nothing else, it is certainly cumbersome that they will have a verdict by the time. I don't know. You'd think they would hurry up with it and have the proper channels take a look at it and decide one way or another, right?
I would think so.
So I mean, if someone decides that they want to accept his version of events, then he should get to play, I guess. But I don't know what the heck's going on. But then the Coffee kid is hurt, and he might end up needing shoulder surgery. So that they have no depth. And the hotshot recruit they brought in from Jellystone Park, the guy Isaiah Washington.
Mm-hmm.
What was he? Reavers, you there?
He's in the role of Johnny Height today.
John Height isn't here today. He's doing the news.
Well, I think he was 2 for 12 last night. The guy can't shoot. He was this guy that, like the New York City Player of the Year and all this. It was a tremendous recruiting triumph for him, but and a great playground player as far as taking the ball to the basket and throwing up crazy layups and stuff, but. When he's got a guy in front of him and they make him shoot a shot, he can't make one. He's 2 for 12. He must be shooting about 25%.
That was my problem in basketball.
Yeah, couldn't shoot. That was it. How
No.
was your jelly? Did you have a little jelly? You had some jelly on your layups, though, right?
I had a jelly donut on the end of the benches, but I had.
No, but you had the Mikulski.
I had a
double
little
pop.
flair. Let's call it flair.
I think you should go over and teach Jelly Jam the Mikulski double pump. He could use something here.
I can work
in
with
the
people.
Big Ten.
At least
can't make any shots.
to show someone how to be more entertaining on the court rather than productive.
You know who's entertaining on the court, Pat? Jimmy Butler. Holy
Oh,
mackerel.
yes.
God almighty.
Yeah. He's got a mouth on him. Woo, baby.
He likes to jabber, doesn't he?
Yeah, did you hear the quote after the game?
No.
Well, we had a mother, in there.
Ooh, the king mother.
But he ran in with the cameras going and everything, the videos. And he ran into that Steve Adams, the New Zealand guy with the hair that looks like he could kill your whole family.
He looks like Maui for Moana.
Oh yes. Well, he ran into a screen of his, and he said something like, That
Yeah, don't say
bleeper,
it. Yeah.
no, heavens no. That bleeper is strong. I thought I ran into him and I thought I ended my life, he said, or something like that. So, I mean, he had this great quote after the game, but
even Wiggins had a spring in his step last night.
yes, and certainly against Cleveland. And you know, NBA, there's only 5 guys. It takes a while to figure out what the other. It takes a while to figure it out, apparently, because a month ago everybody in town was mad at these guys, and now they've had 5 straight sellouts.
Well, last night they had overcapacity.
Yeah, it amazes me that people jumped on the bandwagon this quick. So,
I'm happy for Glenn Taylor.
Yeah, it's been
put up for 20 years of crud.
Yes, his only triumphs were with his women's team, the Lynx. So yes. Speaking of which, you know who's good this year? The Gopher women's team. After being awful, they went and won at Penn State last night, and they that coach was going to get fired in all likelihood. Nobody was going to the game. Team couldn't play defense, and they went and kicked the hell out of Penn State last night, and they're going to end up going to the NCAA tournament while the men won't. So.
I just have this feeling the men are just going to absolutely fall from attention, just kind of disappear.
Well, if the right thing happens Sunday and the local football team win, I have a feeling everything's going to fall from attention.
Right.
I got a hunch we're 3 weeks of nothing but football.
Yeah, the Gophers have Purdue here Saturday at 11 a.m.
And Purdue's rated in the top 5 in the country.
Sunday's quite the sports day with the Timberwolves and Wild at home and the Vikings with the late afternoon game.
So when are both teams playing? Night games then?
Timberwolves at 8 hosting Portland and the Wild at 7, according to NHL.com, hosting Vancouver.
Here's the deal. Do they really think that anybody's going to stumble over there after a Viking game and go to one of their games? No. They're all either going to be passed out in the parking lot or, taking cabs home to sleep on the couch. They're not going to the Wild and Wolves games. They're going to be too hammered after a 3:40 game.
All right, just a moment.
Sports talk that changed sports talk. 1500 ESPN.
They want to hear some American music.
One of you fellas look up some scores from the Sony Open. Is that even,
that's right.
Is that even underway yet? Doesn't even come on TV till 6 o'clock.
Sony Open. I'm on it.
Boy, is that a...
was that the Colombian tour? Or is that...
No.
Okay.
Is that a downgrade in... golf course, though, as far as aesthetically? I mean, you get a little water out there at the place on the main island, Oahu, but it doesn't quite have the views that you have at Kapalua, does it?
No, it's very flat. It seems to me.
It's right on the water there, and it's not really gorgeous, and there's no cutouts on the water or anything like that.
Vaughn Taylor leads it, and this is a 2018, by the way. I'm
good.
Verifying that.
That's good.
He is, 6 under through 14. And then following him is Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk is 4 under through 13. I don't really see anybody on the leaderboard that we really know.
Is McIlroy ever going to play again?
Don't know what he's up to. He better start putting, else he'll never win another major.
He's in the tabloids a lot, selling a beautiful mansion in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
We're trying to get rid of it, huh?
Yeah, he's moving into Ernie Els' old house.
Oh,
So
bigger? Even bigger?
I don't know, but
Okay.
man, he's been unheard of for a long time.
Yeah.
Unheard from.
That's true. Okay, I got to run something by you.
All right.
The Twins, well, you became a City Side columnist right about the time they were selling to Polad, right? 84, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you never really... the only Twins baseball organization you covered was Calvin's, right?
Yes.
Calvin's operation.
Me and Calvin.
So I told you that earlier this week they had their baseball organizations meeting, and they had 162 people over there.
Right.
Which is bigger than some of the crowds they used to have in September with the Twins. But they had 100 scouts, analytics, coaches, blah, 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 all over the place. So I'm talking to this kid that has been hired as the director of baseball operations. Basically, he's the head of their research department. Research on how do we make these ball players better, all the way down to the 16-year-old kids they sign, right?
Okay.
His name is Daniel Adler.
All right.
And he has a law degree, a master's in business, and a bachelor's degree in commerce, all from Harvard.
Oh, my word.
Not very motivated. Not motivated at all, huh?
All from Harvard. And he used to work for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then he left for a couple of years because he had to finish up, he said, his education. And I said, so what did you do to finish up? And he kind of hemmed and hawed because he's not a really boastful kid. He said, well, I got my law degree and I got my master's in business during those 2 years from Harvard.
And we're all laughing at fart jokes, huh?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, I don't think we had those guys walking around when Calvin ran it. We had Clarkey, he graduated from Dartmouth, but that was about it. We didn't have a lot of college graduates walking around.
I don't think
there.
Calvin ever had even a company meeting, did he?
Well, no. In fact, I hate to give away my lead for tomorrow, but basically the organization meeting was Calvin's birthday dinner at the winter meeting. So it's basically when everybody got together and they had a couple of free drinks on Calvin. That was pretty much it. It is amazing what's happened to this game, though. They're all because of Theo Epstein. Everybody says it's Moneyball, but it's actually Theo Epstein, Yaley, winning getting hired at age 29 by the Red Sox and then winning the World Series. They got all these guys are now from, expensive private Eastern colleges.
Okay, this kid's name is what, Adler?
Daniel Adler.
What's he want to do with his life? What's he envision?
This is he's going to probably be running a sports organization in 5 years, kind of like Falvey.
Because if it was just
Falvey.
Calvin, this kid would be way overqualified.
Well, he'd be. I talked to Jim Rantz and about it. The contrast, Jim's back home, but he's. When they had an organization meeting, it was Brof walking over to his desk.
Right. Right.
So that's.
And you got to throw in Billy and Jimmy; they would have been in there.
But it is astounding what has happened in this game. That they all are going to. They're looking for that 2 or 3% advantage that makes them a little smarter in developing players than everybody else is, and it's incredible. They now have they've added over 40 jobs in the baseball department since these guys came in November of 2016.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Are they up to speed now are they state of the art, do you think, in this department?
Yeah, they're Dave St. Peter, I talked to him about it. He said middle of the road as flyers about a bunch of employees. But these guys are this kid that they hired, this Daniel Adler, other baseball teams were trying to hire him. Because these guys now, these analytics guys who graduate from these schools, they're known in the industry now, and people want to get them in their department. So they basically convinced him to work for them instead of 8 other teams
That's
that wanted
amazing. That is amazing.
It is. I got to tell you, nice kid. Talked to him for an hour. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. So, but it's, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's different.
No.
It's different.
Sports Talk will return shortly. Here's Chris Height in the newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. The Wolves topped the Thunder last night, 104-88 to win
catch
there.
that?
I did.
Okay.
I did the professional thing.
You did. Very good. I'm sorry. I pointed
bulldozed ahead. Yeah.
What did I miss?
You called me Chris Height.
No, I didn't. Said, here's Chris Reavers.
No,
I didn't.
You did do Chris Height.
Yeah, that's okay, though. We forgive you.
I'll be damned.
No, but Height doesn't.
No.
Right. He's calling right now, wondering what the hell.
I said Chris Height?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
And we were worried about me having to throw coins in the scan bucket. Although I just
I'm eligible. I'm eligible.
jinxed myself. Jimmy Butler led the way with 26 points. Karl Anthony Towns had another double-double with 18 points and 12 rebounds. This was also the 7th straight game that the Wolves had held their opponent to under 100 points. Reigning MVP Russell Westbrook had 38 points and 10 rebounds for Oklahoma City. With the win, the Wolves are now 27-16 in first place in the Northwest Division. Last night was also their 5th straight sellout. They host the Knicks on Friday night and Portland on Sunday. Wild defenseman Ryan Suter scored the go-ahead goal in the third period to beat the Blackhawks 2-1 in Chicago last night. The win snapped a 4-game road losing streak. It also moved the team ahead of Chicago for 7th place in the Western Conference standings. Devin Dubnyk stopped 34 of 35 shots. The Wild come home to host Winnipeg on Saturday and Vancouver on Sunday. We learned that Eric Stahl will represent the Wild in the All-Star game in Tampa on January 28th. Former Gopher Blake Wheeler and Burnsville native Brock Besser also were selected.
Hey, Joe, where'd the goal? I didn't see the goal. Where'd it come from?
Which
Suter's goal? The winner. The winner.
Wrist shot from about halfway between the blue line and the net, I think.
All right. He wasn't out there on the point, though.
No.
So he was
Well, he's
kind of
moving
more of a scramble type thing.
Yep.
Okay.
The Gopher men's basketball team were blown out last night, 83-60 to Northwestern.
How's Mr. Reavers, Grandpa Reavers, taking it?
We're now turning this into a rebuilding season.
Okay,
Let's play the young guys. Let's play the young guys.
Got to play our freshman.
Yeah, we are playing our freshman, and he couldn't beat me in horse.
I said, Dad, I don't think that's a problem. I think they're going to get some minutes because they got nobody else.
Gots to play the freshman, that's for sure.
The Gophers return home to play the number 5 ranked Purdue Boilermakers at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
They're going to miss Reggie Lynch against Isaac Haas, who's about 7'4". Have you seen this guy?
Oh,
He
my
is
God.
huge.
Yeah.
He is enormous. this
Purdue's
Purdue guy.
a machine this year. They are really good. You know who else is surprisingly really good this year? Ohio State. I
Yes,
thought Ohio State was supposed to be kind of in a rebuild mode, but they're good.
And they gave a whopping to Michigan State there last week. So.
The Super Bowl host committee reopened the Bold North Zipline presale portal at 10 a.m. yesterday. It was first come, first serve for the 6,000 reserved slots to ride during the festivities. The $30 per ride sold out in less than an hour, according to organizers.
What if somebody drops into the river?
That's my fear. I don't want to do it because the river's freezing.
Are we just holding on? Like I take the grandkids on a zip line, they just hold on.
No, you're not taking them on this.
No, okay.
For our
what
bigger,
if they fall in the river?
Now you got to fish them out.
'cause you do get some lag, you know, some you get to the middle there and you start slowing down and your toes start dragging across the drink, you're in big trouble.
I covered the Special Olympics once in the winter.
Yeah,
And these kids, God love them, they set up hay bales at the end of the ski slope.
Yeah, right.
And they go right through it like a cartoon character, right through the wall. I see people going right through the walls of a flour mill over there.
Oh, it's going across the river, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and then crashes into a museum or whatever they turn those mills
Mill
into.
City.
Yeah.
Well, do we have them all tied up?
I think they're trussed
can't
up pretty
fall?
good.
You're
Yeah.
harnessed in,
Well,
yeah.
then it's not a zip line. A zip line, there's got to be a little fear in it, right?
Oh, there'll be
Yeah,
fear.
the fear of falling in the water.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what the zip. You know who wants to go on the zip line?
Huh.
The craziest man in America, Jim Marshall. I was talking to him a month ago.
Don't let
and
him.
He said, "You see that story? I want to go on that zip line."
No,
I said-
Jim, no.
Well, he's been through worse.
No,
for
I know,
goodness
but
sake.
this could be his demise.
I got an idea, Pat. Here's what we do. We get Jim. We get Superstar, because they go 4 at a time.
Okay.
Each ride, it takes 4 riders at once.
Then it would break.
Okay.
We'll get Jim,
Well, that sounds more like a
Superstar, Royce, and Crisco. We'll get all 4 of you guys lined up and say, let's go.
Jim would be the smallest guy in that group by about 100 pounds. But then it sounds more like a ski lift than a zip line, for goodness sakes.
I can't help you. I'm not getting anywhere near.
So you're not holding on. They're holding
you're
on
harnessed
for you.
in. Yeah, you're harnessed in.
What a bunch of crap.
I want my money back.
That's not a zip line.
All right.
Do they know how to stop? Just throw up some hay bales. I'll be all right. That would have been fun to see.
It
The
was
spirit
wonderful.
of it,
It
yes.
was wonderful.
Yes, it is. You didn't rip them, did you?
Oh, a little bit.
Go to the
Had a little
Special
fun with them,
Olympics.
yeah.
No, I
Go
did
to the
not.
Special Olympics and rip the kid. That
I
would
did
Right.
not.
That would
Great
be
column. I love the
that would
Special
be
Olympics column.
That would be the frosting on my image.
Yeah, it really would.
that would be the one I'd like to go off into the sunset with. You know?
Major League Baseball agent Jason Wood has been fired by the Career Sports Entertainment Agency and has been suspended by the MLB Players Association amid an ongoing investigation into his alleged use of a secret camera. Wood, who was president of CSE Baseball, is accused of using a secret camera to film players while they were taking a shower.
But it's taking a shower at his
home. At his home,
right?
Yeah.
See, so they'd go and they'd work out. Then he'd say, "Yeah, take a shower," and then he had a camera going. So
yeah, he was confronted by one of the players who discovered the camera, the hidden camera. The player immediately fired him.
Female athletes?
No, these were
guys,
MLB players.
MLB players. Yes.
I see.
It's one of those deals where you see the eye moving.
I get it, man.
The eye moving behind the.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's an odd picture of
Behind
George
the
Washington
painting.
in the shower.
Why
He
is
must
that
really
eye
like the
following
president.
So I gotta ask you guys a question in retrospect.
Okay, here we are.
George Washington.
Retrospect.
Right.
Joe Namath played here at Met Stadium with the Jets.
Yes,
right?
he did.
Yes, and the security was horrible back then, right?
I rode on a bus with the Jets to the ballpark once. That's how good the security was. I sat next to Namath.
Yeah, well, so they're playing here, and Joe is in his high glory then. He was every woman in America's idol, right? They all wanted to be with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk out and of the locker room there, and there's a bunch of gals there that I know that work for the Twins and their husbands, but they're young, then they're in their 30s, and there's 50 women in the hallway there saying, "Did you see? Hey, Ricey, did you see Joe? Did you see Joe?" And I held up my hand in a gesture of length, right? Would I now get fired for that?
I hope you went thumb and first finger.
Yeah, I went. Yeah, I did.
About
Thumb
like
and
this.
First finger held up about
Thumb,
like
first
that.
finger, and how high my vertical jump is.
And they all shrieked. Because I underestimated him just as a joke, right?
Of course.
Well, that would probably cost me. I probably would have never had a career if
Why would that cost you a job? It's not like anybody would.
Because you can't take humor anymore.
Because I was supposedly spying on Joe and the.
I
see. Even I never saw. I was just having fun.
This big.
I never did see. I never did see Joe's private parts, but I gave the impression that I had.
Yeah.
So that probably would be enough to get you fired.
I think you're okay.
So you're saying there was no picture of George Washington in the locker room there to
Not that I could tell.
With the
In that
wandering eye.
In that locker room, you had, 45 football players in there in a room as big as the studio.
Yeah, that's
basically.
right.
Former Arizona County Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Crazy, just call him crazy.
Crazy Joe said he thinks recipients of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program should be deported. Deport them, he said in an interview airing this morning. When we come across these kids, or some are older than just kids, he said, then deport them. You deport them back to the country they came from. Aparo said that the DACA recipients have education in the U.S. and can be, quote, good ambassadors from the United States to their country, end quote.
Yeah, they're going to go back and say nice things about us after we send them home, right?
He said, that's just my idea.
Okay, Joe.
Earlier
Keep
this
thinking,
week,
Joe. That's what you do best.
Earlier this week, he announced that he will run for Senate in Arizona. He gained popularity among immigration hardliners during his time as the Maricopa County Sheriff, representing the Phoenix area, proudly calling himself America's toughest sheriff and touting a strict approach to border security. Last year, President Trump pardoned Aparo after he was convicted of ignoring a court order related to racial profiling in his division.
You have more coming up, Chris?
I certainly do, Joe.
All right.
A number of recent owl attacks has some Atlanta residents concerned. Local television reports that there have been several instances of owls attacking humans or pets since late December, most recently in the heart of Midtown.
I side with the owls. How about you, Joe?
Me too. I've never seen one, and now they're attacking people. I'd just soon get attacked. At least I'd see it.
You've never seen an owl?
I've seen one from a distance.
Oh, I see. Sierra Holt says that her Yorkie Freedom was killed following a December 23rd attack in Henry County. She said the dog sustained puncture wounds to its back and chest. The next week, Deborah Johnson was scratched in her leg and knocked over by a large owl, attacking her dachshund in Cobb County. And on
There's got to be a nest there somewhere.
Probably. And Wednesday, Eric Thornton says an owl swooped down as he left his townhouse, cutting his head. The Atlanta Audubon Society spokesperson says owl attacks are rare, but recent cold weather might have made younger birds more aggressive.
Makes them grumpy?
Might be.
Cold weather makes them grumpy?
Yeah, in Atlanta, they're not used to that cold weather.
Isn't there a version of the owl called the snow owl?
Yes, there is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We used to have a huge one when I lived out in Prior Lake, out in the countryside there. It sat back in a tree and would kill anything that moved.
Well, they're raptors, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And they could get large.
Oh, yeah.
A Rhode Island rapper whose songs include Sell Drugs, D-R-U... D-R-U-G-S-Z.
And how is sell spent?
S-E-L-L. S-E-L-L.
Okay. Conventionally.
Sell drugs. We got both the S and the Z. Okay.
Well, he has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for selling drugs.
What's his name?
Federal prosecutors say 30-year-old Michael Persuade was sentenced Tuesday in federal court in Providence for trafficking heroin and fentanyl.
Well, he's got to have a rapper name.
That wasn't his rapper name.
Got to have a rapper name.
Purcell.
His stage name is Montana Mills.
And he's located where?
In Rhode Island, Patrick.
In Montana Mills.
And what's his real name?
His real name is Michael Persuade, but his stage name, rookie, is Montana Mills.
Lil Montana Mills.
Prosecutors say an East Providence undercover detective bought nearly 3/4 of an ounce of fentanyl and a small amount of heroin from Persuade over a 4-month period beginning in October 2016. Authorities also say that they seized 44 grams of fentanyl from his home. His lawyer, Matthew Smith, calls the sentence fair and just. Prosecutors had asked for a 6-year prison term.
That's more like a name for a lady in a softcore porn movie, isn't it? Montana Mills. Yeah, it's not a stage name for a rapper.
I think it's Montana Milfs.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Mills.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Do we have music from Montana Mills?
I think this is his deal. Oh yeah, this is one of his first raps. Kind of an introduction.
Yep.
Let's get to it, Montana.
My name is Mick Persuade, selling drugs for the big wad. Just like Ricky says, I'm Montana Mills, right from Southwest Florida hills.
No hills.
Ain't no hills in Southwest Florida. Damn it.
There are in Montana, though. There's
right.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
that's
true.
probably why he was early
great
on.
big hills.
Yeah. An aviation student from northern Minnesota found a creative way to propose to his girlfriend.
Oh, aren't they cute?
He used an airplane in a frozen lake. Gavin Becker took Olivia Toft out for a joyride in a Cessna 4-seater on Sunday as a Christmas gift to her. When the couple flew over 8th Crow Wing Lake, where Becker's parents own a resort near Park Rapids, Toft spotted a message, "Marry me," carved in dark, bold capital letters in the snow below, just above a heart.
How romantic.
The plane approached the message from the side, but Toft could still read what it said. She replied, "Oh my," Becker remembers her saying before glancing at him and turning back to look at it again. She saw it a little early, and I think it kind of shocked both of us. I thought, well, I better get the ring out now. I was fumbling around in my pocket. Becker cut short his planned speech to pop the question, "So, will you marry me?" Of course, she said yes.
Hey, fellas, speaking of cute, one of the best read things at StarTribune.com when I looked an hour ago was 4 young boys, 4 young grade schoolers talking about
the Vikings.
How much they like the Vikings. You know how much of this crap we're going to have to put up with if these people go to the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. I might have to stab myself in the heart with a pencil.
Oh, try not to do that.
You know, it's going to be 2 weeks of nonstop yuck.
I've been a fan since 3rd grade. Hey, you're 12, kid. Be quiet.
Right.
Yeah,
Pat, I'll just to show you how much I care, Pat, I did not do that story today because I knew it would drive you.
Thank you.
I knew it
But
would
he
drive
brought
you
it up
insane.
anyway.
Well, no, I just brought up.
No, Pat did.
Fear.
No, I know.
The fear of,
But
that's why you
way.
gotta. That's why you gotta hope they lose in the NFC title game in a heartbreaking fashion, so all these little kids get some cynicism in their life, which everybody
like the rest
needs.
of us. Yes,
everybody needs. Come on,
a little cynicism.
Homer hankies will be nothing compared to what will happen.
This will be unbelievable.
Oh, we got the Bring It Home towels. Did you read that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. We got the Bring It Home towels that were given out at the stadium on Sunday.
What will the anchors and anchorettes be wearing? Helmets? Viking helmets?
Sure, you got to have a helmet. I suppose.
Helmet, yeah, Helga hats, right, or something.
My favorite story of the day. A 73-year-old man in Paris was stopped by police after driving his vehicle 17 complete times in a roundabout.
Oh, boy. You can get out of there. Come on, you can do it.
I got a little stuck with my blinker.
It wasn't as a prank. He just couldn't figure her out.
Well, the Frenchman who told police he had consumed excessive amounts of alcohol
Okay.
There's a reason.
also said he had not heard the sirens, nor did he notice the flashing lights that were directly behind him.
So he thought he was going. He thought he was still on the way home. He thought he was doing good.
17 times.
I'm hearing the Benny Hill music.
Yeah.
The dizzying drive was not the 73-year-old's first offense of its kind. This was his third driving while intoxicated offense.
How do we treat those in France?
His driver's license was confiscated according to this particular story, Pat.
Does he get to go to jail then?
I would assume so. I would assume so.
You know,
I'm
that
not
happens
blaming
out
the
at
booze. I'm not blaming the booze. I'm blaming the roundabout.
That's happened to some people from Lester Prairie. You know, when they put those roundabouts in on 7 out there, Highway 7. Some of those people have never gotten home. So,
No, they're still going.
yeah, they're still going around.
An Australian man experienced the fright of his life recently after a venomous snake scaled his car window as he drove home from the mechanic. Ted Oger was driving on the New South Wales South Coast Wednesday when he spotted a black, red-bellied snake slithering alongside his car. He said the reptile had slithered from the hood of the car and wrapped itself around his side mirror, looking and apparently hissing at him as he drove down the highway.
Every story from Australia features something that tries to kill you.
Yes.
They have lots of animals.
Have you guys
spaces.
seen the picture of the
No,
snake?
no.
It's massive.
Oh, man.
And it's sitting.
How did he miss it?
It's because it was in the hood of his car. He assumes.
Okay.
And then it slithered out as he drove away.
Man,
They
they're
don't have
sneaky.
spiders. They have giant spiders.
Yeah, they are.
Right. Well, I told you when I was there for the Olympics and staying in the insane asylum, the converted insane asylum, they had some crap crawling on the linoleum that would get your attention.
No thanks.
Yeah. All right, just a moment. You know what you are today?
What's that, sir?
You're the pregame to the beer show.
Oh, that's right. That is good. Do we have the? Did we get the beer show guest there? Oh, Reavers is probably not in there.
He's
so
not in there.
We were trying to get a guest for the curling. It's going to the Olympic curling team. He works at a liquor store in Duluth. I thought he'd be a good guest. For
That is a good
beer
guest.
show. Okay, we got Martin Davis. Is going to be here at 4:30. He's down here at Fantasy Camp. I'm going to have him on and ask him about how much they hit him up for the Super Bowl corporate rating that they did to pay for Roger Goodell's hotel rooms and the like.
How would he
then,
know?
Well, because Cambria, he's
Oh,
Sun Country.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. He gets they touch him for everything, I'm sure. And then other questions about the Gophers and the $170 million facility and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
And then a couple of football guests in the 5 o'clock hour. Kevin Seifert and Andrew Kramer.
1500 ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis.